Kia ora koutou. There were some big movers on the screen today, but I just couldn't pull the trigger. It's been 4 days since my last session. I came into tonight ready to trade, but nothing felt right. I was out of sync. By the time I spotted anything, it was already gone. I didn't want to chase, so I sat on my hands and let the moves pass. But here's what I was watching. So the first stock I sort of saw when I opened up my software this morning was Sonnet, or SONN. It had made a decent move early on in pre-market, but I missed all of that. I didn't see it until around here. It's sort of broken back up to VWAP and then pulled back and then went sideways. I did see it break here, but it was just a bit messy. I wanted to see if it would hold on that pullback at VWAP. It didn't hold there, broke right through. And even though it came back up, I was just like, nah, it's just a bit too messy through here, so I left it alone. It did sort of rally up here, but once again, it had that big flush red candle. I might zoom in on that a bit more. So yeah, it did push up here to a high of 623. I missed that break there, but it didn't hold. Flushed all the way back down here, and yeah, so I didn't trust that stock. I didn't take any trades, and that was sort of the initial start of the night. ARTL was another one. This was too high price though. This put in a decent move around 7 o'clock. I missed it as it didn't register on my scanner until, well, once it got up over $25, it wouldn't register on my scanner because my scanner only looks for stocks that are under $25 and sort of above 50 cents. So by the time it had enough volume in it to show on my scanner, it was already gone over $25. So I did eventually see it when it sort of came back down here, and it came up on my scanner as it sort of broke down to this level here. I think it broke. Yeah, I saw it around here. So it wasn't any good there. And then it broke up through here, and I didn't take any trades on that. I was just a bit late getting in. Thought about taking it on the VWAP, but yeah, just didn't have much faith in it. It did go up to about $30 though, from VWAP around 26. So, you know, $4, not bad, but I couldn't afford many shares on this stock. So that was ARTL, too expensive, and kind of rolled over after that breakthrough VWAP there. Didn't really recover or do anything more. Next one I saw was LGPS. LGPS was put in a couple of decent moves in pre-market. Popped up here around just after 8 o'clock and broke through here. I missed this first leg. It was sort of going sideways through here. I did think about taking a position about 155 on this as it pulled back down, but I waited for confirmation, but just didn't pull the trigger as it popped up through here. Break of that first candle over 160, 162. That was really the entry that I should have taken, as it did actually push over $2 to about 250. That would have been a good trade through this section here. Oh, sorry, move that. So the entry really was here on break of this first green candle, breaking through VWAP, pushing up through the 9 EMA, and then holding for this, you know, possibly through that pullback there, but even as it pulled back and broke the bottom of that previous candle there, that would have been a good exit there around, what's that, around 230, yep. But missed that. My bot that I'm obviously still developing took a good trade here, entry at the break of VWAP here, and then actually held through that first leg up into selling at that first red candle. Second trade, not so good. It was trying to get in for the break of this candle here, and it holds that position for some reason, and it bought in very late within its price buffer. So not a good entry on that one there, as it was a losing trade and ended up having to stop out. So still got lots to work on that. That was pretty much LGPS. That was the move there that really would have been good to capture, and after that it sort of rolled over. But the stock that was the main stock that I saw last night was MBIO, and this popped at 8:30, and I started looking at it as it broke. I think I'd missed this part here, and I think it was breaking up through this area through here around, it was on this leg here where I first saw it. And I just didn't pull the trigger as it was coming up here. I felt like I was chasing it by the time I came into it, and checked the stock, its float and all that sort of stuff. I sort of missed that first leg. It then pulled back down to VWAP, held VWAP, and there was an entry here as it broke this green candle here. It broke back through the 9 EMA. That was a possible entry, but you know, pulled back on the next candle, and yeah, it's a bit messy through here, but it did go up to break through the high, previous high at 268, went to a high of 280, 281. But as it came back down and held VWAP, another entry here, or an entry on this first pullback here, that would have been a decent entry on the 9 EMA for a push up to $3, eventually going to 338. Then it got a bit messy, sort of pull back, rip, pull back, rip, pull back. So it did make a high of 417 eventually, but this is where I actually looked at taking a trade on it at the open. So at the open it actually pushed from 350 up to 435 and pulled back to the 9 EMA. And if I'd bought off the 9 EMA, I probably would have been all right. Getting out up here around 460, 450 would have been a decent entry off the 9 EMA along here, and then holding, looking for it to break through that high up to here. Of course, I was too hesitant and not really in the right mindset, so I didn't end up taking any trades on that stock. My bot took a trade. It was in here in the break of this green candle here, and so I got triggered on this green candle. Once that green candle closed green, it bought in on that red candle about at 372, and it doesn't look like it's exited. Yeah, so it for some reason the exit hasn't triggered on it. I'm not sure why. So it should have actually triggered on it, not that red, but yeah, it should have triggered here for a break even, a loss. But anyway, maybe it's to do with the going into the open. Anyway, yeah, and then again, this stock just broke again. Buying off the 9 EMA here as it pulled back, or as it broke up over the first green candle here. Even as it broke through the previous high up here, it sort of came up, rejected off it, and then pushed through it, and then closed on the high, this green candle here. That would have been a decent entry as it pushed all the way up to 605, 608 from 467. So that would have been a decent trade on MBIO. And after that, that was pretty much it. When it came up here and sort of went sideways and then dipped, I stopped trading. So that was the end of my trading session. So not being able to pull the trigger on this one, you know, a little bit of FOMO on that. Wasn't great. I was just out of sync. Yeah. So it was just the way it went. And this stock even went up to $7, you know, pretty strong stock this morning, up over, you know, 100%, well over 100% on the day. So nice, strong, good momentum to see. Hopefully it lasts this week, for the rest of the week, and I can, you know, get over this hesitancy and get in. Having 4 days off was probably a part of the reason as well, but just wasn't there. I don't know if it was being away for a few days or just one of those nights where the rhythm wasn't there, but I felt hesitant, and I've learned not to push trades when that's the case. Sometimes the right trade is no trade, but still here, still showing up. That's the discipline part. Let's see what tomorrow brings. I'll see you then. Hei a popo.